What's up, guys? We're here Friday night hangout, and I'm actually on time for once. I know that's crazy to believe, but we're literally starting at the time that we scheduled this thing. Unusual. Most of the time, we're like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. But we're here, and it's Friday night, so hit the like button if you're not already. Shout out to everybody. Let me know where you're listening from. I will give you as many shout outs as possible, but it's a Friday night. The weekend's here. How are we feeling? We'll talk about the birds, what the expectations are. We get the schedule release, get into that. Potential for some signings, maybe. There's speculation, rumors abound, I guess, around this time of year. But also Monday starts the OTAs. So for people that are not sure about that, OTAs getting started on Monday. Get a better look at the rookies, some of the vets. I'm pumped. I know we're in May, so we got to temper those expectations. But the fact that we are going to get a little bit of some viewing, not anything crazy. I know 7-on-7s, not going to go ridiculously intense or anything like that. But it's more than Sirianni has wanted. He's kind of making an exception, I suppose, based on what Vic Fangio said. So I'm hyped for it. But what's up? What's up, everybody? Tequila? How's it going? Cheesesteak, IBH, Avery Family, Daniel Renzi, Eagle One, Ridge King, Frank Logue, what's up? Donnie 4, Michael H., Bryant Artis, Go Birds from Baltimore. There you go. Emily McHugh, I'm doing well. I hope you are also. Dallas sucks. Cool court. Like that. Speaking of, if you've not gotten in the Dallas sucks comment on the last video that I did, go check that one out. Comment Dallas sucks because that enters you for a chance to win 2 Eagles tickets, which I'm going to give away next Friday. So 1 week from tonight, we'll do a Friday night hangout again. And as long as you've gotten your entry for that previous video, then we'll do the randomized spinner, and some random person is going to win 2 Eagles tickets to any game of their choice, any regular season game of their choice. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see. I got a John Davis saying, "Hey Josh." I don't know if that's a John Davis like dad or if that's just another John Davis, but hey John, how you doing? What's up? Yeah, I'm curious now. I'm interested if I'm going to get a text or anything, but it could be, very well could be. That is his first name. So there's no logo. There's nothing there. I do not know. Ted E, can we super chat questions? Sure, go for it. I'm open to super chat. I love super chats. Appreciate the super chats. But we'll get to Q&A just in general too, as well. So, Justin, what's up, man? How's the Friday going so far? It's going well. My wife is actually on the bachelorette trip, so the fact that we're even able to stream right now is pretty awesome. Shout out, kudos to my brother Jonathan, who is babysitting the 2-year-old right now. So this might be an abbreviated live stream. Let's just say that. I usually, it's like 2-ish hours, sometimes a little longer. It might be an hour and a half, but we're gonna see. We'll take what we can get. We'll be here as long as possible. Cheesesteak, the neon sign, it's the same one I've always had. No, I got a brand new one for, why am I drawing a blank? Jason. Gosh, sorry. Jason, yes. And he got it hung up, got the picture and everything. Looks legit. Also, a couple of the jersey winners, I got an email, I think from Matt, shared that he got his jersey. So for those that did win the jerseys or have won the jerseys and I texted you or emailed you, should be getting them fairly soon. Daniel says, yeah, feel bad for your wife on week 1. Yeah, that was one we were looking forward to. Daniel also asking, signing one for guard. I don't know. I kind of like Trevor. Morgan Miskell. J-Doc, Dallas sucks. There you go. Devontae, boys night out. Let's go, baby. Yeah, it's abbreviated one, but shout out to the babysitter. Feel so bad. Serenity, what's up? Davey, Josh, I don't know what to expect wins-wise, but I do expect better coaching and more effort. That is a for sure. It's going to be, without quite, we already talked about it. It can't get worse. I know we don't want to jinx it or anything like that. It can't get worse from what we expected. So by default, the wins are going to be, the schedule is easier. Like if we're just looking at it objectively, the schedule is easier than it was last season. So I'm hopeful. I think we will do that tonight. In fact, just because you brought that, we're going to get into the schedule and we'll go through like predictions, which games we're going to win, maybe which ones we might lose. Figure out, what that's at. So Jared's prediction is Mekhi Becton ends up as guard. Okay. I'm not there yet. Let me just say that. Definitely not impossible. Like, I'm not hating it to that extreme. I'm just not to the point of Mekhi Becton getting the starting. I feel like there's a lot of potential as that swing tackle, as a potential to back up, or I guess eventually maybe take over for Lane in a year or two, depending on how long he goes. But yeah, you have him as that versatile swing tackle. You figure out Trevor Keegan or Tyler Steen. Tyler Steen's probably the favorite right now, but wouldn't be impossible. Let's just say that. I'm excited, though, especially with, and I'll go ahead and share the screen, might as well, for the schedule itself. I'm so hyped for the schedule or for the season. It's like there's like slow crumbs that we get throughout the offseason that just kind of reminds you like, okay, hey, we're getting there. We're slowly but surely getting to the regular season. I know we have forever to go, but the fact that we got the schedule out, which games we're playing, how many primetime games, it's 4. There's a lot of positives. I feel like there's a lot more positives, and I don't know. I saw a few that commented, negatives about the schedule, but it feels like there's more positives, certainly more positives about this schedule than there was last season. Because you looked at it, you said the gauntlet of the games to play, the later bye, that's fine, sure, that one works out, but it was a more difficult schedule. Some of the scheduling themselves of the 5 or 6 week stretch was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, and then we fell flat on our face regardless. So it didn't matter. But this one to me, I love it a ton more. Frank Thomas is back. What do you mean? I love the nickname though, the Ben Shapiro. Yeah, he gets that quite a bit. But no, he's back. He is back, and shout out to Thomas and Paige. Again, congrats to the married couple. They are he literally flew, I think, 9 hours and then got up a show that night. So you know how it is. The grind never stops. So as soon as you touch down, you go home, record, edit, get it up and posted. But yeah, we will be back. Regular scheduled programming next week, Wednesday Night Link. So we will for sure be here. Weedosaurus believes the schedule is as difficult as last year. That's fine. I would disagree. Fanny, what's up? Dayton, Ohio. Hanging out with the cool kids as always. Speaking of, I know we bring this up on every single live stream, but it was before we got the official timing of everything and exact dates. So now we know the Cincinnati game. I'm very tempted, like October 27th in Cincinnati. I'm very tempted. I know it's an afternoon, later afternoon game, but if I was to go to an away game, obviously the one in Dallas is easy, but easy to go to. I'm not saying it's, we struggle there. Everyone knows that. But to get to the game and to, that's an easier one. But for Cincinnati, it's a maybe. I don't know. If I'm looking at this though, and we'll see, because I would like to go to a road game as well. I mean, see a game in Cincinnati would be fun. But if we're looking at the schedule, I'm trying to think of like which one would I want to go to. Fanny's heading to Cincy right after church. There you go. 35-minute drive. Not too far away. Which game do you go to? If you could pick one home game, if you're only going to go to one, hopefully there's many of y'all that are going to several, but if you're only going to one home game, which one is it? Is it an obvious? Like, I mean, it feels like, you say like Dallas, you go to the one December 29th. Week 17, probably some big ramifications. Maybe not. We've already got it wrapped up by that point, but pretty big ramifications, I would suppose, for Week 17. That one could be a pretty big game. I know you got your primetime games if you wanted a Jacksonville, Sunday Night Football, November 3rd. Washington, Thursday Night Football, November 14th. Or the home opener. I could see that. It feels like if you're going to, and we'll see what the comments, but I'm guessing a lot of people are going to say Dallas, and I would think a decent amount are going to see a home opener, right? I mean, it's just like the hype and everything else. Monday Night Football game. But curious. Let's see. Oh, let me get this one comment too, and I'll come back to it. Sorry, I got off on a little bit of a tangent, but I don't want to miss this one. Shout out to Joseph Kolsar. I don't know if I said your last name correctly, bro. Sorry about that, but I do like the question. Let me throw this up here. Yeah, who's the biggest X factor? Then I'll get to some other comments of which game you'd go to. But who's the biggest X factor on offense or defense or coaching wise? Who is the biggest X factor? It's a good question. X factor on offense. I know it's kind of like a given to say the quarterback, I suppose. But like with Jalen Hurts in this offense and Kellen Moore and the changes to the system and everything being predicated on what he's seeing, what he's reading, the adjustments pre-snap, motion that we're going to see. I don't know. I mean, coaching, yeah, obviously it's Kellen Moore. But between the two, I don't know. I could go back and I really wrestle with this. It's like you go back and forth because Vic Fangio is going to be night and day difference from what we had. We're not going to worry about a Matt Patricia or Sean Desai calling the defense and players not knowing what they're doing. But I don't know. I kind of wrestle with that because it's. I guess as of today, I would probably lean towards. If I'm going to say coaching wise, it's going to be Kellen Moore, even though Vic Fangio is very, very important. So it's like a 1A, 1B. But this team is going to be carried by the offense for sure the early part of the season. Now, the hope is that the defense catches up. That's my opinion. I feel like most people are in agreement. It's fine if you're not. But in my opinion, with this group, the defense has so many questions. And yes, offensively, we're curious to see what Kellen Moore cooks up. But like the playmakers themselves, there's not a whole lot of questions to. I mean, come on. You got A.J. Brown, you got Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. Anaya Smith hopefully is going to get into and start being available quite a bit as a wide receiver 3 option. Maybe there's another acquisition coming. Who knows? But even if not, you have more than enough weapons on offense. So to me, it's like this team is going to go as far as the offense takes it, at least for the first 10 weeks of the season. Defense hopefully catches up. Later on towards the year, you got some confidence. You got some guys who are younger, getting some playing time, adjusting to everything. And then, sure, maybe the defense is able to hold up its end of the bargain. I don't think it's going to be atrocious. I've seen a few, maybe trolls, but I don't think it's going to be atrocious. I just think it's going to be offense carrying quite a bit on the defensive side. So we'll see. But that's a great question. Biggest X factor on offense and defense. Yeah, defensively, man, I don't know. I'd probably say. I mean, we have a lot of guys that they're going to contribute for the D line, so I'd probably be tempted to just say Devin White. Because the linebackers, it's questionable to me, like who's going to be there with Devin White. It feels like a foregone conclusion. Devin White will start and then insert whoever it'll be. If it's Nakobe Dean, if it's Zach Bond, if it's Jeremiah Trotter Jr., maybe wins the starting job there, makes a play. But I feel like Devin White, because if he can play to his past level, athletically, there's nothing that says he can't, then this defense is different. Like, I'm trusting the secondary. Yes, we need to see it, but like I'm trusting the secondary. The D-line has a lot of guys that, yes, need to step up, but I think like in a one-person individual performance that needs to hold the defense together, I don't know. We'll see who calls the plays, who's the green dot wearer, but it could be Devin White. So it's like if he's there calling the plays, linebacker, asked to cover, asked to blitz, in Fangio's system and scheme, I think that probably is where I would lean with. X factor on defense. Got some other people too. We'll see. MJS says Jalen Carter and Jalen Hurts, going with the Jalen's. I don't hate it. Totally understand. Jackson also says Carter. Candy saying Jalen and Cam hopefully hit the ground running. Missing Kelsey could be huge. That's fair. It's not going to be the easiest to just immediately replace him. But Donnie Four, Vic Fangio was fascinated by Bond. Yes, he was. He definitely was. We'll see where he goes, but I would say so for sure. Daniel saying, watch every one of his videos. I could just tell he loves Anaya Smith and Keegan. let's see. As far as some of the other games, though, too, I mentioned that a second ago, so I'm getting back to those. Dallas, yep, a lot of Dallas. Browns game versus Schwartz, that's true. That's a good one. Bengal games are always crazy for Eagle 1. Jacksonville, Dallas. Justin, probably Falcons. Donnie 4, I want to sweep. Yes, I want to sweep Dallas. Please, can we win in Dallas for once since, 2017? That would be amazing. If we could just have that one time. It's been way too long. I thought last year was going to be a decent chance, and we'd already, I don't know, the wheels were somewhat coming off. We were miraculously holding on in some games, and it just, obviously it didn't feel great. So, let's see. Lars saying week 15, I hate the Steelers. Steelers could be a good game. Donovan, what's up? Yeah, asking how's the schedule for October 27th. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. It's a possibility. It's one that I need to look at a little bit more of what's going to happen there. We'll see. That would be a lot of fun. That's where I'm trying to figure out a way to make that happen. Sean, it's crazy we're going to win the Super Bowl this year, right? Yeah, it's foregone conclusion with the acquisitions, the draft that we had, the coaching staff now. Great chance. We should say that. Certainly a great chance. MJS, it's a good point. Saquon could be it. Donnie Ford's going with Lane Johnson. Got to stay healthy. As far as the X factor. Davey, I could see Jalen Carter having 13 plus sacks. He's a winner. If Jalen Carter, that's a interesting. But I wonder what. I don't know if they have the over under total yet for a Jalen Carter sacks. But if he has 13 plus sacks, I mean, my gosh, like it won't shock me if he has, certainly more than last season, and he's going to take a next step. He's supposedly either losing weight and or in better shape, or maybe he's just in better shape. But like if he has, I mean, what are you talking about? 14, 15 sacks, 17 sacks? That's crazy. By the way, this made me just think of it here. This is kind of random, but talking about sacks. I don't know if you guys saw this. Apparently, Michael Strahan may not have the sack record, or or I guess J.J. Watt would be the lone leader. There's a YouTube video, Jaguar Gator 9. Shout out to him, but like caught it whenever he was going through some other stuff. So if you haven't seen it, just look it up. I'm sure you can Google it, and it was all over TikTok as well. But there was a YouTube video made about it. Apparently, Strahan got one of those that was credited to him that actually did not count. So the year that he had, the 22 sacks, I think it was, didn't actually count. Shouldn't have, but the NFL did count it. So crazy. Just, beware. It's all the records that you see don't necessarily are not accurate. The NFL, the No Fun League was, I don't know if they were just gifting it to him or what happened, but it's crazy because he actually tackles, I forgot who it was. It was, I think in the Dallas game. I could be wrong. There was some quarterback. He tackled past the line of scrimmage, like a half yard or 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, which is not a sack. Cheesesteak, yeah, they said Breadman looks about 10 pounds lighter. Hopefully Jordan too. If Jordan needs to be I'm not the same weight, obviously, but Jordan needs to be doing the same thing that Jalen Carter is. Hopefully the Breadman is keeping him away from the bread. Like if JD can't end up getting things together. I mean, come on. I know I've seen some comments too about people saying like, what the heck? He's a first round pick, or he's a guy who should not need motivation. He shouldn't have to be, pulled along and just say, hey, come on, man, we got to do this thing together. He should have enough motivation. But I don't know. That's who he is or who he's been so far. Hopefully he can stick around and be that. Let's see. Oh yeah, Devontae Smith. That's what people are saying. You got to take it. It's interesting though too, because it's like you take it with a grain of salt. And Ocho Cinco is the one who at first said it like, "Hey, I kid you not, he's gained 20 pounds. He's like 190." you see like a few videos. I think someone had posted a video, and then I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. But it's so hard to tell, like with angles and videos and everything else. Like sometimes it looks like they have gained weight, and maybe they have, maybe they haven't. So we'll see. But like even if Smitty's put on 5 pounds or 10 pounds, like that'd be crazy. But if it's 20, if he's legit like 190, like Donnie's saying, I heard Smitty's like 190. That's what Ocho Cinco said. It seemed like the part too is like there's some joking around. I know there's laughing and everything else and like sarcasm, but the way that he doubled down on it, he's like, I kid you not. He's being serious. I suppose he believes it. I don't know. Again, we haven't actually get it straight from Smitty, but I'm not taking everything. Let's just say that I'm not taking everything that Ocho Cinco says at face value. However, you can't discount it. Maybe it's true. CMV Eagles, what's up? Said, hey, Josh, love the show. Was cooking and realized it was Friday. Remembered I had to hop on. Appreciate you hanging out. Yeah, everybody in the 150-ish people here hanging out. It's always good. Friday night, a little bit earlier than normal. Usually I'm, maybe an hour later than this. So Candy says Ocho Cap. Yeah, there's, again, you take it at face value. He's like, did he add the muscle? Was it that much? He probably added some, but I don't know. If you're hyping someone up, it'd be like if you have a friend or whatever, like a buddy, and you're just like, man, he's really getting into shape. He's put on some weight. Like he's put on 20 pounds. Well, has he really put on? Maybe not. There's every good story has some embellishment, so it happens. But I don't know. They're just shooting the breeze, and he's talking about Smitty. So right before, obviously, Unc was kind of bashing Smitty for his size. It's never been a problem. So, I mean, again, like Smitty's unbelievable. But if he's at that point and he put on some weight, then, I mean, watch out. Fitness Warrior, what's up? Yeah, said Josh, did you see how he threw that paper at Nick today? I guess Howie really does hate Nick. The Eagles, shout out to the Eagles social team and YouTube channel. Like they put out some really good content the past couple of days. The schedule release I got a kick out of. Obviously, I used that in one of the videos because it was too great not to. I thought it's just like the comments about the teams and the feelings of it and everything else. That was really good. And then also, yes, to your point, the Howie and Nick, what was it, like the stadiums and trying to go through those. But yeah, that's always love that type of that content, but it's really good. I would say also that the vibes of this team, I know it's so far away, but it feels like, okay, you know what? We get a breath of fresh air. We reset. You got different coordinators. You got some belief in here. You've overturned most of the defense. You're younger. It's one of those where, again, like it just feels like we're in May. I know we're in May, but it feels like we're so ready for this season. I can't wait for it to get here, but especially with the team is right now. It like Donnie said, I got a good feeling about this year. I do too. I'm so hyped for it. Yes, David Dalrymple, I think is how I would say the last name there. But this team is set up to succeed. They are. If they do not succeed, we've said this so many times, Nick Sirianni will be fired. I don't know what the exact number is there. I don't know what we call not being successful, but Nick Sirianni will be fired if they don't succeed. In my opinion, they don't have to win a Super Bowl, but they have to get, probably NFC Championship? I would say. Yeah, we do have a hater in here as well. There's always one. Josh B., why do the Cowboys have 6 primetime games? They legit aren't America's team anymore. Right, they're not. They're not America's team at all. They're America's frauds is what they are. They say they're going all in, and they do the exact opposite. They're frauds. They've been there for forever. I mean, I guess they sell, so the NFL is just about making money, I suppose. Because they know, regardless of what happens, the Cowboys fans will tune in and have false hope, everything else. It's just ridiculous. I mean, Nick Foles has the same amount of playoff wins as the Cowboys organization since 1997. Like it's insane. Like the amount of time that you have gone and one guy, one dude has the same amount of playoff wins as your entire organization. Unreal. No, we just source. I don't think they were talking about you. I appreciate the back and forth and having differences of opinion. I think it's this fake Dan Cilio dude in here. He may not last very long. Sweet, I pronounced David's last name correctly. Good. I try my best. It's what the moderators are here for. You know, we get as many moderators as possible on the channel, and then we're good. Cheesesteak, guess Dak will get the contract for 10 times the pay. I suppose so. It does seem like that's It does seem like that's gonna happen. Feels inevitable. Let's see here. Yeah, Tracy Ann saying that Dak was better than Jalen was a bridge too far. They're just sabotaging. That's really what it is. I mean, I don't know what you call it. I missed this one earlier. She says one big odd change this season will be that I don't give a darn what the coach says. I will be ignoring him all season. Yeah, MJ is saying if we have 12 wins, or we will have 12 wins. If we are under 500, he's gone. Josh B's one playoff win. David says, I'm assuming NFC Championship. But yeah, NFC Championship there. That is, yeah. I mean, he's got to go. You have to make the playoffs, but you got to probably win one playoff game. I think if he wins one playoff game, wins one playoff game, then he's safe. But he could be wrong. Could need to go as far as NFC Championship to get it done. Either way, I'm with you. Yes, if he is not going to be, regardless of what he says during press conferences, and we've been taking it with a grain of salt for Nick Sirianni's comments, but now it's just going to kind of be like, all right, well, you're kind of a lame duck anyway. What do you do here? And you got coordinators who are in control, thankfully, hopefully to an extreme extent, but that'll be the question with Kellen Moore. Like, does he have full control of the offense? Gosh, please. Let me get back to, I was going to pull up the schedule and go through that, and then we got sidetracked for a bit. So we'll get into schedule predictions, and then also, yes, still more comments, still more questions. All right. So here's the schedule. I'll zoom it in a little bit as well, because it's perhaps hard to see for those on the iPhone or on the smartphone. So there you go. Got the schedule. 90% of the entire Green Bay team is younger than my son. Michael talking about Jalix Hunt. Yeah, on special teams, guy looks like an athletic freak. I'm curious to see how long it takes him to I guess start play. I don't know what percentage. I'm trying to go into with like realistic expectations, but like when does he get it might just be like Nolan Smith snaps. And as frustrating as that was, that's probably where I'm at in terms of the expectations this season for Jalix Hunt, is he'll get about what Nolan Smith. It'd be great if he gets more, but that's only if he's ready, and obviously he's raw. He has not played in that position. He's got 2 years of experience, and that's it on the D-line. So, it may take more. But to your point, yeah, the athleticism and the way that the kickoff rules are, it does make a whole lot of sense if you were to transition over and play special teams for a while, and then eventually you go over and you do that. You get more playing time on the D-line. Daniel wants to trade for an O-lineman. Interesting. Which O-lineman? Fitness Warrior question, do you think if we win games more confidently this season but lose in the first round in an overtime game, does he still get fired? It's a good hypothetical as well, because we've had some of those that, it's the optics of how you get things done, I suppose. And I don't know, because it looked like he lost the locker room. To your point, yes, it was terrible losses. Even the wins, it was not confident. It was nail biters and everything else. So I don't know. I mean, if he has a good regular season, winning games that we're supposed to, taking care of business, the losses are close. I mean, I suppose I still feel like, though, regardless of what happens, if it's not get to the playoffs and win at least one game in the playoffs, I think he's gone. I don't see a world where you make that make sense. And I think MJS was asking a second ago, I believe, was like, who's on tap? If that happens, it's got to be Kellen Moore, because the only way that this thing works out with Kellen Moore is you make him the head coach after this season. If it's a good season, he's not going to be, and then Kellen Moore's going to be gone. And we've said it a million times at this point, but if it's a bad season, you have to promote Kellen Moore to your head coach. If you want to have a good offense, if you want to have one that's proven and stick around for a while, then I think you have to. Although, yes, like Jeremiah Butler, good point. Yep. We're kind of saying there. Have a feeling Kellen Moore does great this year. He's going to leave. If he does great this year, he's going to leave for a head coaching job somewhere else. That's the problem. Unless we do like not great, like the offense, let's say, is putting up decent numbers, and the team is just kind of there's something wrong with it, and then you get rid of Sirianni. You make Kellen Moore the head coach. Let's see here. What's the other one? Ravens and Bengals should be primetime, not the Washington. I agree with that, Emily. Yes. That was one of those where I felt it did seem like out of either or, the Ravens or the Bengals, one of those, like beforehand, I was saying like one of those is going to be Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football game. Like, why not? The competitiveness, the teams, everything there. I get the divisional matchup, and, Washington's not so surprising because it's Thursday Night Football. Like, if it was a Sunday night or Monday night, then I'd go, what are we doing? Why is Washington scheduled there? But it's Thursday night, so that makes sense. Whatever, you're going to do it. Divisional matchup. Rams will be good. I mean, it's not knocking the Rams, but I am with you. I was thinking Bengals or Ravens would be a little bit. Frank thinks Moore is being set up to take over for Nick next season. Cheesesteak, you're getting cereal for dinner, not a cheesesteak? Oh. Hopefully it's some good cereal. Weedy Source thinking they lose to at Tampa or Atlanta. David's going with Steen winning the job. Armani's looking forward to Keegan being an eventual starter, hoping he can be Evan Mathis type player. That's true. Evan Mathis or Todd Harrimans or Brandon Brooks. He's got the same number as them. I think he's going to be good. Daniel's answer on that trade for any player saying, I'm not going to lie, I'm not. Who's that, Quinn? Fitness Warrior, what if we lose to the Saints, Falcons, Panthers, and the Giants twice, but lose the NFC Championship game? Does he get fired? No, I mean, you made it to the NFC Championship game, but if we lose, I mean, that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses. And so what, like you finished the season 11-6, 12-5, but you make the NFC. It's still the ultimate like end result. What have you done for me? And if the regular season's kind of like, oh, okay, that was a little bit underwhelming, but you make the NFC Championship, then I think that you're fine. But I mean, my gosh, how shocking would that be if we lose to the Panthers and the Giants twice, and the Saints and the Falcons? I mean, New Orleans could be tough. Playing in New Orleans could be tough. Falcons they're solid. Be interesting. That would be the most ridiculous way to. All of my expectations would be gone when we reach the playoffs. At that point, I'd be like, no, we've lost to some of the terrible. We've beaten some good ones, but we've lost to like games we have no business losing. Michael H. Yes, there's a million what ifs. That's the beauty of this time of year, but no one knows anything. So I don't know. It's the speculation and just talking about what are the Eagles going to do or what could they do. James Craig, how's it going? Says, what do you think about Isaiah Rodgers finally coming back? You think he's going to do his this season? We going 13-4 this season. I like the 13-4. And I'm excited for Isaiah Rodgers. I think that he will. I think he'll make the roster. Curious to see how high up on the roster he goes. Will he be a starter? Will he compete for a starting job? Is he going to be just a backup? Is he utilized a little bit more in like the return game, and then you use him, potentially as a backup, so that way it kind of works for both sides there? I don't know. It'll be interesting. But I am excited because I think that, yes, the athleticism that he brings, it just comes down to, can he get back to that form that he was at? Is he able to quickly get back there, or a year off? I mean, it's totally different for, all positions are different. So if a guy's been out of it for a year, sometimes you can return to form pretty quickly. It's not a huge adjustment. Sometimes it does take you a while. So he'll get every chance in the world to compete for it. It's just, can he get there? We will see. It's cheesesteak cereal. Oh my gosh, not great. I think I missed a comment, and I maybe passed it, but I saw it earlier. Someone saying, like, did we do the giveaway or whatnot? We did not. We're not doing it tonight. The video said next Friday, which is what, like the 24th? So the 24th, we will do the ticket giveaway. 2 tickets. Anyone who commented on the past video. So go to the past one, not this live stream. Appreciate you hanging out, but this one does not win the tickets. And then get into there. Isaac, big fan, brother. Philly fan from Texas. Who am I seeing at the Rams game? Yeah, you going to L.A.? Sweet. I'm not sure I'll be able to go to L.A. I don't know, November 24th. What is that, the Sunday before Thanksgiving? Might not happen. But who is going? Anybody planning to go to the L.A. game? Emily asking, doing a prize giveaway for correct predictions. Yeah, we will try to figure something out there. Thomas and I have discussed it briefly, so I think we're going to try to do some sort of league, like a prediction league for the schedule and whatnot. So we can send out like email invites essentially, and then people get to predict the schedule record, and then we'll have some sort of giveaway for that. So it's in the works. It's not official, but we will most likely have something fairly soon. There you go. Emily's going to the LA game. Lives in Sacramento. It's a fair point. Tracy's asking, why would you want to promote Kellen to head coach if they do badly enough to fire Nick? Might as well clean house. They might do that. It wouldn't shock me. I would probably lean more towards, you look at doing that because yes, you did poorly enough. It's just the offensive mindset and the only reason it's just we have so much talent, so much potential. The only reason I see us getting there or not getting there and having issues is if Sirianni is still too much hands on. He's too involved with the offense and he can't give out over to control to Kellen Moore. If he can, I just don't see. I mean, barring fingers crossed, knock on wood, like we stay healthy, but like there's just no. I'd be shocked. I would be absolutely shocked if we don't have a really good year. Andrew's expectation is Jordan Davis too exhausted to play 80% of the snaps. Well, let's hope no one's playing 80% of the snaps, but that's, I mean, if JD's playing this with the rotation this year, Milton Williams maybe gets to play a little bit more. Daniel, yeah, that's a good comment. So underrated. He totally is. Did not get to play enough. I know he got banged up, had the injury, missed a game or two. He's going to be much better this season, or at least have the production. I would be surprised if he doesn't have a lot more production. But I don't know. JD playing 50% of the snaps, wherever that ends up being. Let's see. FWB. How you doing, man? Always good to see you. Go Birds. Go Birds. Appreciate that. Nice. Every morning before school, one of these videos to keep up with the news with my coffee slaps. All right. Yeah, we're trying to figure out when to post these, honestly. It's usually predicated on the news and then also like scheduled with kids and everything else. But yeah, we're getting there. A lot of times it's either in the evening. It used to be very, very, very late at night. Sometimes early in the morning. Tracy wishes we could trade for Shane Steichen. Yes, that's the answer was Steichen. Unfortunately, very high hopes. I will say this. This is just in terms of, and I know it's a bounce back and injury and coming back, everything like that, but I believe that Anthony Richardson is going to have a phenomenal year. Now, I don't know to what extent where the Colts get to, but it's probably not shocking with a Shane Steichen. I'm just saying the Colts and their weapons and what I've heard from a couple individuals close to his rehab and where he's at and things like that, I feel like Anthony Richardson is going to have a really, really good year. There you go. See, there's a couple. Justin Hort, living in Arizona, will be going to the LA game. Fitness Warrior, fun fact of the day, Shane Steichen, speaking of, Shane Steichen was the OC for Justin Herbert a couple years ago. Diamond Girl says Keely Ringo will step up. Possibly so. Weldon, let's see. Hey, Josh, since the Eagles are committed to a youth movement, would it be far-fetched to sit Slay and start Mitchell and Rogers at corner, especially with it being the last year of his deal? Probably, yeah. I get the line of thinking with the youth movement, what Howie said, the fact that you do have those younger guys and you want to get them playing time, but I think you really need to see Slay and I mean, I hate to say this, but like you really need to see Slay slip up and start really underperforming. Last year he was fine, like not the worst. It wasn't incredible, but it wasn't the worst by any stretch. I know that he said some things and tackling maybe wasn't great and whatever. But like overall, he's still good enough to where you say he's starting. Quinion can pick up a lot of things from him. If he does start to struggle, then yeah, you've got some depth. Maybe you adjust some things and say, all right, we're going to sit you there. But I don't think that there's a world at all where you sit Slay until he proves it. And you're saying, all right, we've seen 3 games or 4 games at this point where you are clearly not with it, can't find it, and there's just huge glaring issues. And I don't know. Even then, you'd have to see. And like to what extreme are we talking about? And where is he performing or where is he not performing? Malcolm Noose is 12-5 or 13-4. I'm feeling like 3-4 defense as far as that question, but I guess we don't know officially. Michael hoping Anaya Smith plays faster than his testing. Yeah, I think that he will. I'm not too concerned about that. Again, he had that shin injury. I think that probably could have affected him. I'm not too concerned. I think if you just watch his tape and the film there, then I know it's college, but he to me he plays fat. Like when he, based on his measurables, it was one of those where it's like, okay, that's a little underwhelming based on his film. But then you watch his film again, you're kind of like, yeah, he's fine. He plays faster than that. Right. Fitness Warrior said he just made the Pro Bowl no matter the collapse. Speaking of Slay. Donnie saying Anaya Smith could be the steal of the draft. Maybe so. I doubt that he will be able to prove that, honestly. And maybe I'm wrong. It'd be great if you have your wide receiver 3 proved to be the steal of the draft. He doesn't have to put up 1,000 yards, but still, like with his offense, I don't know if he's even going to get the volume to potentially prove that anyway. But it'd be great. Just for the Anaya Smith 5'10", Antonio Brown 5'10", Tyreek Hill 5'10". I got a feeling Smith is going to be great. Love that. Yes. Don't pull up any other 5'10" receivers that were bust. Just keep with those two, and just in terms of a career, we're not talking about any extracurricular stuff, but just in terms of a career on the field, you got some good comparisons there. Jen, I have no idea. You asking who will the Eagles land in the first round of the 2025 draft? I had no clue. No, absolutely no idea. I mean, we're so far away from that. I'm awake. Or you? Smith plays running back also. Yes, he does. He's not going to get much, but maybe in some motion stuff. I mean, Kellen Moore does a lot of that, especially like an end around or like a little quick handoff. It will be interesting. MJS wide receiver 3 stresses me out just like last year. I suppose a little bit, but I don't know. I think that the usage just was not good to begin with. There's no scheming. There's no helping the receivers at all. It's based on their ability. And so Devontae and AJ can do it, but basically nobody else. It'll be better. I'm hyped. I agree, yes. If he puts up 500 yards, he's a success. I would, yeah, for sure. I mean, if he puts up 500 yards, then we're talking about what? Probably 500 yards and, I mean, I don't know. We say 30 catches, 35 catches, 500 yards, something like that for Anaya Smith. I think it's great. If he puts up anywhere close to that, I think that's all you're going to ask for, especially a rookie wide receiver 3. Who knows how quickly, if he does end up starting or if he ends up eventually winning the starting job. But then again, you've got A.J. Brown, Devontae, Dallas Goedert, Saquon. Like, there's only so many to go around. So, yeah, I would be perfectly happy with those numbers. I just saw this comment, actually, from Fitness Warrior. But, yeah, expectations on wide receiver 3 for yards and touchdowns. I'll take it a step further because I know it just said Anaya Smith there and saying like 500-ish yards. I would say holistically for whoever the wide receiver 3 is, or if we combine the stats for whoever the wide receiver 3 is, I'm going to say because again, there's just so many like options already over those guys. I'm gonna say like 600 yards, 650 yards, somewhere in that range, and maybe like 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns. I'll go 3. I'll say if it's in tandem, if it's just one dude, whoever's the wide receiver 3, I'm gonna say somewhere in that range, 650, 3 touchdowns. Nothing crazy because Smitty's gonna get 1,000 plus, AJ's gonna get 1,000 plus. I think Goddard's going to have a really good year. I don't know if he quite gets to 1,000, but I think that he could have a very solid year. And if you say, 800-ish, hopefully he stays healthy, doesn't miss too many games, hopefully none, but, he has had some issues with missing games based on injuries before. So, right there is what? 1,000, 1,800, 600, so like 3,400, and then Saquon and insert anyone else getting yardage there. Yeah, I'd say Jalen getting somewhere close to 4,000 yards. But that's where I'm at. Probably wide receiver 3 for like 650-ish. Kenny G is a dog. Interesting. Okay. 42 catches for an individual. Multiple questions here. Are we getting Justin Simmons? Who knows? Who knows if we're going to get him? His price is dwindling. So let's just say that. There's hope. There's a chance out there. He's still not signed. He has the connection with Vic Fangio. If you don't have anything as far as, like the price maybe getting better, Howie Roseman, if he takes a look at the roster and he says, yeah, we like it, but if we could get a Justin Simmons for a 1-year deal and it's cheap, you say you're starting safeties or C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Justin Simmons, and you have a Reed Blankenship and you got a Sidney Brown as your backup options, that would be great. You'd have a lot more depth too. Talk about depth in safeties, and you have depth with a cornerback position. The secondary is very solidified. But I don't know. So far, no. But the longer that it plays out, again, there's a chance. You're that dude. We do not need Justin Simmons. That's fine if you think that we don't. I do, and like I'm hopeful with Sidney Brown, but he's coming off of an ACL injury. So in my opinion, you need some depth. I don't necessarily know that we have to go sign a Justin Simmons, but if you get him, I would also argue that he does make you better. A former All-Pro. He didn't lose a step. He played great last season. He knows the system. It's not like you have to teach him a whole lot. Andrew, have Wilson play safety. Just because you put a 6'6", 6'7", 230-pound safety back there, just because he's tall, does not necessarily mean that he's going to be good in that section. It's have the agility and everything else. I love the slight as well, just not catching it. Good at knocking the ball down. No, I got it. I was maybe late to it. Sometimes it's delayed too. So when I see the chat, it's sometimes delayed for me. So stand by. I'm trying to get to those. Let's see. Yes, Donnie Ford. I hear Tyler Hall is a beast. You think he makes this team? It's so hard to say. I don't know. I've gone back and forth. He got signed really early. Anthony DeBona believes that he's got a shot. Makes some sense. He has fairly good grading. He has fairly good stats against him. I guess in terms of like he performed fairly well. Limited sample size, but I don't know. It's going to be a crazy battle in camp, even somewhat a little bit OTAs, not a whole lot. It'll mainly get from training camp, but still, you're going to have the battles of, I mean, your solidified guys are Darius Slay, Quinton Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, and that's like the first. I think that's a general consensus. Everyone would agree. Those are four that you're absolutely not cutting. They're locked in. They're going to be on the team. No issues, no concerns. I would argue and say that Eli Ricks is still going to be on the team, make it. Just my personal preference. You still add some depth to the outside corner. I know you already have a ton. There's a bunch of other guys. I would also say that Isaiah Rodgers is right there too, assuming that there's not as much rust or there's just like, oh my gosh, this dude forgot how to play, but I would assume that he would make the roster. But again, that at that point there, I mean, you're already at 6. And so do you keep a Tyler Hall? Do you keep a Vontae Maddox? James Bradbury to me is for sure gone. I mean, there's just no question that he doesn't make the roster. Understand if you disagree. I don't know. It's interesting. He's going to have a shot, but there's so many guys competing for it. Sean Stevens that we signed, UDFA, got some athleticism, got some speed, ability to turn the ball over, had 8 interceptions. Granted, it was D2, but still led the nation in interceptions. Made enough of an impression in just rookie minicamp to get signed, so that's saying something. Like he's got to have some competitive drive out there, and he was probably doing pretty good. But it's a great situation to have. Again, it's great. And also a good question from Andrew saying between Hall, Ricks, and Rodgers, who do you think makes it through waivers? You know, you try to play the guessing game some. I mean, there's a bit of finessing and saying like, all right, can we keep this one dude because he's going to get picked up? But maybe we try to sneak one through waivers and get him on the practice squad. It's a guessing game. There is hopefully it's an easy decision, but I highly doubt it is. And you probably will see whoever gets cut, I would imagine. Maybe I'm wrong, but you probably see one of those guys who gets cut get picked up by another team. I mean, Josh Jobe even, like, you know, forget about him sometimes, certainly with the depth. I know that he hasn't done anything special as far as a corner, but he's been a really good gunner. So special teams-wise, he's proven that he can do that. If there's a team that's in need of a player who can play special teams, who's a solid gunner, has that experience, maybe can provide an answer as an outside corner, as a backup, he could get picked up. But yeah, between those three, I don't know. It's I think Isaiah Rodgers for sure does not make it through. Because even if the Eagles released him, I would have to assume the team's going to look at him and go, we're taking that chance. Like, that guy has played at such a high level. We hope and think that there's still something left. Let's take a shot. Let's sign him. Let's bring him in. If he can somehow return to that level, because he's proven that he can. So I don't think that he would make it through waivers. Eli Ricks, again, I just highly doubt it, because he was, for a while, I don't know if it ended this way, but for a while it was viewed like, oh, Eli Ricks, oh my gosh, he got a steal. The Eagles got the best UDFA in the class. Like, how did Eli Ricks not get drafted for one? And then how did he go to the Eagles? And he got some playing time, got some starts. Sure, he struggled. He had his moments just like just everyone else pretty much. But he did have some decent moments, and that was his rookie season. So if you like that competitiveness, I would see it as the most likely to possibly make it through waivers is a Tyler Hall. But even with him, you know, he was signed very early. The Eagles wanted him. There was some competition apparently from a couple teams, or at least some that were interested. So I don't know. I highly doubt that you can sneak a cornerback through on the waivers with as deep as you are at the position. Yeah, I see some of the Bradbury comments too. Yeah. June 1st, Bradbury's cut. Fanny saying you got to know Bradbury's feeling some type of way with all this talk. Give him a break. Somebody may see potential in him. Sure, but unfortunately, that's just not. We have too many. He's not. Weedosaurus, though, is believing they keep Bradbury and he bounces back. Then trade him for some picks. Who knows? I still doubt it, but we'll agree to disagree on that one. Frank, you could tell when Howie said he wanted Mitchell to live next door to Slay that Bradbury is gone and Slay is staying. It did seem like between that and then also I would say, but so that one was telling, but to me it was almost more so whenever he's in the press conference and he's being asked about these picks, and I get it, right? Like you've had a really long night, you're probably a million different thoughts, so maybe you're not as careful with what you say, right? Like we've all been tired. There's been moments, I'm sure, where you just say something and you're kind of like, I didn't really think, right? So that's the initial thought. So he's in this press conference. He looked tired, understandably so, with the draft, and then he goes ahead and he says, yeah, it felt great to get him at this position. And for both, he kind of doubled down on it, but he said it, for Quinion Mitchell, and he again said it somewhat for Cooper DeJean. He's like, felt great to get him at this position. We had a first-round grade on him, and especially a position of need that like this to get a player of that caliber. It was the right pick. It was the right decision. Like that. That's all you need to say. That's all you need to know. He doesn't believe in James Bradbury. I know that he said technically at the combine, yes, we still have plans for James Bradbury, but he said that he couldn't get away from the mic fast enough. Go, if you want to check it out, go back and watch Howie Roseman's combine interview and just fast forward to the very end, the very last question, and he gets asked, what about James Bradbury? Are the plans for James Bradbury on this roster? And he's like, yes, he's under contract. He's got plans for him. And as he's just running away from the mic. So I know there's a lot of speculation about everything. I'm just saying the common denominator, you add up everything that's been said, there's no way in my mind that James Bradbury makes this roster. I'll be shocked if he does. And I'll admit that I was wrong, but I'm just telling you, that's without a doubt. Appreciate that, Weedosaurus. Yes, y'all need to like this stream. Give Josh more love. I appreciate it. You guys are the best. Y'all know that. Yeah, Daniel, heck yeah, man. Also, yeah, I don't know how he only has 57,000. He deserves 6 million subs. Sure, we'll take 6 million. In all seriousness, though, to even get at 57,000, I'm unbelievably blessed. Appreciate all you guys, the back and forth, the comments. Y'all know that. But it's crazy. 57,000 subs. And it's been, it's been a year and March, April, May. Yeah, a year and a little bit over a month since starting the channel, which is insane. I need to do a video. Apparently, Daniel's saying I need to do a video just to talk about corner safety predictions. I could probably go more in depth. I did do the 53-man roster predictions, and I talked about it a little bit. But yeah, to go more into detail and analyze it, I could probably do a deep dive, I suppose. Justin's believing they're going to give Bradbury a last chance to keep his starting spot. Maybe so. Yeah, right. There's the wording. Like Frank said, Bradbury is under contract. Sounded very enthusiastic. It's one of those that you say it so that it's out there in print that he said it that way, but the tone and everyone else listening can read right through that. You're like, that is not saying anything. It's one of those, and it's almost, maybe not quite to the extent, but it's almost like not saying anything without saying anything. Like he was to the point of it's almost an immediate. Weedosaurus, I should do a full schedule stream, analyze each game, player matchups for player matchups. It's a good thought. Maybe so. We'll see. Darren Mitchell, appreciate that, dude. Keep up the hard work. More followers coming. Heck yeah. Okay, good. I was going to say Diablo is devil. but I couldn't tell if that was a joke either. But no, I mean that's we'll see. The goal, the initial goal, or the first goal is 100,000. Eventually one of these days, hopefully we'll get there. But let's see. All right, well, let's get into this schedule. We're not going to do as extensive. It's a good point. Like Weedasaurus said, get into a scheduled stream and player by player matchup. It won't be that intensive, but we'll at least pull up the schedule, go over it, predictions, record wise, which games we're going to go with. A little bit of context there. And then, yeah, I'll probably maybe another 30-ish minutes. Because remember, I've got my brother's babysitting, watching my 2-year-old right now, so that I'm able to even get on and do this live stream. So it'll be a little bit abbreviated, which I apologized in the beginning, but yes. Oh, shoot, I missed that. Yeah. That's good. I missed the Talladega. I'm actually really disappointed the fact that I missed that reference. Sometimes in chat you just don't see it. Maybe it's because it's a Friday and I'm a little bit tired. We've been a little bit less sleep the last couple days. It's a good reference. I can appreciate it though. Just missed it the first time. So all right, here's the schedule. Let's get into it. And no, Mekhi Becton. Why was Mekhi Becton even cut? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought someone said he was cut. No, why was he cut? I thought he was good. He had so many issues. He's so flawed in the sense of what he gave up 12 or 13 sacks, something like that. Ridiculous amount of pressures. He's got the intangibles. He has the athleticism, the ability. I think that you can see, and that was what translated. But I think he just started to lose confidence and everything else. And then on top of that, you had the penalties and. Who knows? A lot of times, obviously, it's psychological, but I think that he still has all of the ability. It's just, can he get that to translate? And if anybody can fix it, it's Stoutland. So I'm hopeful. I think that he could be, for sure, a good backup. But we'll see. Nate, that's a good point. You should have your brother stream with you for the Dallas games. That would be really fun. I'm thinking about having... actually, we will have my twin brother on one of the lives before Green Bay. So for one, that you guys can legit see that I'm not lying, I suppose. Plus, he's a Packers fan. That one is. My twin brother's a Packers fan. My other brother is a Dallas fan, and then so is my other brother. And just about the rest of my family. But yeah, my twin brother's a Packers fan, so he'll be... Probably since the game's a Friday, I guess I should say, I was going to say the Friday night live stream, but we'll have the game. We'll see. He's an orthopedic surgeon too, so he's not as available. But we'll work something out. No, he doesn't have a YouTube channel or anything. No, we'll just have him hang out. But here we go. This schedule, speaking of Green Bay. It would be a weird thing to lie about, but, I did have some people that commented. They're like, no, you don't have a twin. Prove it. And, whatever. But you'll see. And who knows? Maybe we even have some interesting twin stories or whatever. So, but the game is September 6th. Maybe we do a Thursday night stream on the 5th, or what would that be? Tuesday night stream. We could possibly do that. That'd be the 3rd. It'll be sometime. I'll let everybody know. Yes, Tracy Ann, yes. I guess there's always an evil twin. That is true. Yes, he became a Packers fan because he was kind of, similar-ish in a sense, but he was watching the Packers and they were winning quite a bit, and kind of a bandwagon. It was our way to, I suppose, go to a different squad or start cheering on a different squad, because we realized that Dallas wasn't it, despite a lot of people saying that. And so I took the correct team in the Eagles, and he took the Packers, which was fine. It's not the best choice. Made a mistake still, but I suppose, better than Dallas. So thankfully he did not do that. But yeah. Do we have a thanks, cheesesteak. I appreciate it. Do you have a secret language telepathy? Yes, kind of. Yes, they are. Yeah, my wife is a Packers fan. She's from Wisconsin, so she's a cheese. It makes more sense, right? But they both are, and then her whole family. Yeah, we've had some crazy stuff to not keep this about a twin talk, but we could do that later during the stream in September. But yeah, we've got some like communicating without having to really say much. So it's and my uncles are twins, so it's kind of I guess runs in the family, but you know. Skylord, no, okay. I've had a couple questions. Did not do the drawing yet. Drawing's not tonight, but for the tickets, it'll be next week, next Friday night stream. I said that in the video, May 24th. We will do the drawing then, and someone will win 2 Eagles regular season tickets. Whatever your choice, whichever game you want to go to. I would assume it'll be in Dallas. Yeah, well, I couldn't end him in Dallas, or end him if it was Dallas, because there's some other brothers that are Dallas fans, so, And the Dallas fan is actually watching my 2-year-old. I know that's living dangerously, but we had no choice. It was either not do a stream or have him watch my 2-year-old, but no, he's great. CMV, I see that comment. Oh man. All right, let's get into the schedule here. Okay, so Green Bay, September 6th in Brazil, Friday night. This one it's going to be really close, right? The line is I think 1.5 for the Eagles as favorites, so at least we are favorites. I could see us losing this one. You could say that about every game, I suppose. But like this one with Green Bay, the momentum that they have, they carried over from this past season. That one feels like to me it's going to be incredibly close. I'm trying to wrestle with this because I would love to give it like as a for sure. Oh, we will absolutely win that game. I go back and forth on it, but I've said in the prediction that I made the video of that we win. It's going to be a nail biter. I think it's the last second, maybe Jake Elliott field goal, but it'll be a very close game. So I would give us the win though against the Packers. I'm sorry I missed a comment earlier. Saw 31-24. Was that Donnie? He said hot take Quinion Mitchell pick 6 in Brazil. Heck yeah, we get that. Yeah, Donnie's Eagles 31-24 pack. Or sorry, yeah, Eagles win 31-24. Yes, one of my brothers is, or 2 of my brothers are Dallas fans, not the twin brother. Let's see, 7-10. James Jones, is that your record prediction? Come on. Okay, there you go. I thought it was Donnie. Yeah. All right, so I'm giving us the first win against the Packers. Daniel saying 24-20. Eagles' big play is Milton Williams strip sack to win it. There you go. That's a fair point too. What Nate brought up. If we lose the opener, the narrative is going to be horrible. That is very true. It doesn't matter how we lose it. If we lose the opener, it's gonna already you can guarantee yourself you will already start hearing it about Sirianni because of the doubt and the questions and everything else there. Like it's gonna be a for sure. Is Sirianni the answer? Should he be let go? Should they already move on from him? All this other stuff and questioning whatever plays were wrong, or was the defense not the right call, or are we back to the same thing that we experienced last year? So please get a win. I think that we can. David's saying 12-5 floor. I like the optimism there. I think it's 11-6 is the floor, so not too far off. But I think 11, if you're looking at the schedule, it would be rough. I think that you have to slip up a little bit to have those 6 losses, obviously. But I think that 11-6 is maybe the floor, and you could go all the way up to. Realistically, I would say you could go all the way up to 14, 15 maybe, but that's crazy. I'd say 14-ish is realistically where I'm at. Randomly got the Niners fan in here. That's cool. Yeah, Loki saying we never won in Baltimore until we do. I got to say it's an L there. That's what I have too. So, but let's keep going in sequential order. Let's make it easier. So, I should have actually made it a way to mark this, but anyway, we'll keep moving on. So, win against Green Bay. Then we play the Falcons, and most likely, assuming that he's healthy and still available and everything else, home opener against Kirk Cousins, which is crazy. It'll be the third year in a row. It's prime time. The Falcons are not going to be. They're not going to be easy. It'll be a difficult game. However, the legit home opener. I think the group rallies. Monday Night Football. Jason Kelsey's there. They probably. I could be wrong. In my mind, they'll probably do some sort of tribute video to Kelsey. Just make it a big deal and everything else. So you play really well, you get the win, right? So you have 2-0. Then you go to New Orleans. That one could be tough. Daniel's asking, dude, if you ask this chat, we're going 17-0. Oh, come on. No, nope. I don't. The vast majority is not going to say that. There might be one or two. But I think realistically. But it is fair. I agree. Cheesesteak saying I lean towards Green Bay the tiniest bit, but mainly because of the quarterback's length of time in the system factor. Another year, another OC for Hurts. Not really a home game either. That's true. It's going to be a difficult one for sure against Green Bay. Fitness Warrior, Eagles 17, Falcons 9. There you go. Frank's comment. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then New Orleans, I'm going to say that we win in New Orleans. It'll be a little bit more difficult, I think, than what some people would expect, just because it's New Orleans. Then week 4, Tampa. Not a cakewalk, but still to get the revenge. Make things right after last season. We did win, obviously, in the regular season when we went and played in Tampa. It was just playoffs were atrocious and everything had collapsed. Fanny, like Fanny said, though, it's not an easy win in Tampa. That's one of those where I've kind of gone back and forth. Yeah, I could see it where it's a win, could see it where it's a loss. Fitness Warrior has Saints winning. But I think that, yeah, you probably would get a loss if I'm being realistic, I think you're probably going to get one loss before the bye. Whether it could be the opener, could be the Packers, could be Tampa. But I would say either way, you're sitting there at 3-1 going into the bye. And then you're going to take on, Cheesesteak saying Birds ain't losing to the Saints. Then you're going to take on Cleveland, the Cleveland Stains coming off the bye. October 13th, home game. First 1 p.m. home game. Donnie has us winning against Tampa 31-17. Fitness Warrior, Eagles 35, Tampa 20. Hey, let's go. J. Ross. What's up? Just graduated with your bachelor's today. Heck yeah. Go Birds. Congrats, man. That's big time. What's the bachelor's in? What was the major? Emily, yes, could see that, but could also see us going 4-0. So again, I love the optimism. I'm going to say We beat the Browns coming off of the bye. If we had a loss, either way, I think it's 3-1. But then you win against the Browns, you go to 4-1. Tracy Ann says the Browns are a win. Donnie's saying Eagles 30, Cleveland 20. I would agree. You're gonna get the win, and then we play New York on the road in New York. First time for Saquon. I think that he runs for close to 200 yards. Why not? If New York can't stop it, I would love to see it. Maybe not. Maybe they key off of it and make sure that he doesn't beat them. But it would be fantastic. How great would it be to all of a sudden go, Saquon Barkley, you remember this dude? Like, this is our new giant killer. You didn't pay him. You didn't even offer him before he left. Let's go. Liberal studies degree. Going to teach elementary school. You are a hero. Let me just say that. Elementary school teaching, that is a calling. So shout out to you. Heck yeah, though. Congrats. Daniel, you're eating now? Okay, I'll refrain from speaking about the team that shall not be named for the most part. I might have to say it like once. But yes, with New York, we're going to win. 28-13 is what Donnie says. Fitness Warrior, very interesting scores. 13-11 against the Browns. And you also had 17-9 against the Falcons. So the offense is not clicking, and miraculously the defense is like really showing up. Maybe. Marty, what's up? Go Birds. But yeah, I'm going to give us the win against New York. So again, at this point, we are what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-1. 5-1 going into Cincinnati. That's going to be a tough game. I think we lose. It'll be close. But I'm going to say that we lose that one. Cincinnati. Now, that's assuming that Burrow is healthy and, still the starting quarterback by that point. He could be out. He could be injured or something, but I think it's going to be a difficult game. So we're 5-2 after Cincinnati. And then have a home game, Sunday Night Football against Jacksonville. Tracy Ann agrees, says Bengals is a loss. J. Ross, you're going to be at the LA game. There you go. There's another person at the LA game. Sunday Night Football. Hope to see you there. We'll see. Not an official on anything. I would love to get one away game, and that's the one that I'm just unsure. Speaking of the Bengals, I was talking about that as a potential going to Cincinnati, so maybe there. I know I'm not the most optimistic, though, because I said that I feel like we might lose. Marty's got 12 wins, 5 losses. Andrew 7-1 after week 8. There you go. First loss to the Bengals. Who was that? CMV said that you think we lose the first 4. We go 0-4 into the bye, and then we pick it up afterward. If we're 0-4 into the bye, Sirianni's gone, which, maybe that's a good thing. You pick it up, but 0-4, and then you somehow turn it around and make the playoffs. Fitness Warrior, Eagles 35, Bengals 29. Burrow throws for 400 yards, but 2 interceptions. Both of them to Quinyon Mitchell. I'm just adding that. He didn't actually say that, but Quinyon showing up. Yeah, speaking of the Jags, Tracy Ann says that's a win. I totally agree, especially because I'm saying we're coming off of a loss in Cincinnati. Either way, I feel really good about it, but it's a home game, Sunday Night Football, prime time, all that. Like, we show up, take it to Dougie P. Like, that's going to happen, unfortunately for them. So Jags is a dub. So what is that? 6-2? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-2. Yep, 6-2 going into week 10 in Dallas. We just don't play good in Dallas. And until we do, I've got to be proven wrong at this point. So I hate to say it. I'm going to go with a loss. I don't want to do that, but I'm going to say we lose. So 6-3 after Dallas. Daniel, I'm sorry. I had to say their name. I suppose I didn't have to, but I did. Hopefully it's not coming up. Fitness Warrior, though, speaking of the Eagles and Jaguars, 20-18. These are, I love the very specific and very unusual scores. Okay, that's interesting. Yes, if I go to Cincy, I'll let everybody know. But if I go to Cincy, meet the Midwest Eagles Nest Group of Ohio. I would love to. That'd be awesome. Easy says we sweep Dallas. Would love to. Daniel just unsubscribed. I guess I made him throw up after I said that. Yeah, I agree. We split with that team. So we're 6-3. Then we play Washington Thursday night football. Short week, but it's Washington. It's a home game. They have played us tough at times. But I say we win. It's another bounce back. So we kind of gone loss, win, loss, win. So we're 7-3, going to LA for a Sunday night football game. Yeah, at 7-3, November 24th. I do hope that they have a fall off year. Yes, 2-6 Sports. I'm with you. Uncle Three Times says we're sweeping them, and then we're splitting with Washington and New York. Yikes. Not New York. Come on, we gotta. Maybe Washington. They play us tough. Not New York. Unless it doesn't matter. Maybe that. If week 18 doesn't matter and we're playing backups, sure. Otherwise, no. But let's see. Yeah, Donnie says Eagles 30-21 over Washington. Have some respect, man. Bro, I'm sorry. I had to say I missed it. I just started saying their name, and then I forgot. You're eating dinner right now. LA is a win also for Donnie. LA is a win for Tracy. Being real here, we get to 12-5. Makes sense to me. I don't knock it. I'm about there. 12-5, 13-4, something like that. There you go. I agree with Emily. Like I was saying, we're not splitting with the Giants. We're splitting with the Giants. We got problems. But yes, I will say a win in LA. On the road, going to be a difficult game, but I think that we win. So that gets us to 7-3. And then taking on Baltimore, December 1st, Baltimore, 4:25. It's just, first off, difficult place to play. Not a good track record. And Fitness Warrior says winning in overtime against LA. All right. Close game. And then, yeah, but then Baltimore, that's tough. I think we lose. They've got a lot of talent. I know they turned over coaching staff, and then they might be struggling in some areas, but I think that that's a really difficult game. Could see us losing that one. So that makes us 8-4 through week 13. Nothing crazy, not like an insane season. 8-4, it's not like it's a 10-1, which again, it matters not how you start, but how you finish. So 8-4 may not be crazy, but I am still hopeful for the end of that. Weedasaur says Baltimore's a loss. I'm sorry. MJS Cowboys in third. Donnie says Eagles 31, Ravens 30. That's true. CMV says, let's not forget Baltimore has an injury curse. They might be banged up. They could be. Fitness has Eagles winning 27-23. Fanny, those going Baltimore's a loss straight up. Lamar in that offense is just better. If Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are still healthy, yet to the point of injuries, but if they are healthy, gosh, that's tough. Then you add in like a Zay Flowers and other option. It's just, that's going to be difficult. But yeah, I'm with everybody there. Gooby, I appreciate it. That's why you love the show. One of the few Eagles fans that isn't completely delusional. We have a lot of questions. Got to see what's happening for real. That's I'm trying to keep it real, but I also appreciate the optimism and totally understand this is complete speculation. So, Reserve Recruiter Sergeant Walker, appreciate your service. I'm assuming I would imagine if that's a title there. So appreciate your service. But Baltimore says Baltimore is a loss for sure. Pittsburgh is the only question mark game. Interesting. Yes, the defense did lose a lot. But again, I'm going to go with a loss. So you're sitting at 8-4 going into week 14. This one's easy. It's Carolina. We're going to win. It's a home game, bounce back. You've just lost, which is interesting because literally you look at, I feel like it's kind of a stumble. My prediction, but I feel like there's a little bit of a stumbling in the middle part of the season, and then you can get things right towards the end. Because if you look at week 8, I think it's a loss. and then a win in week 9, and then a loss in week 10, and then a win in week 11, win in week 12, a loss in week 13. So you're kind of back and forth. But then Carolina, you get a win. December 15th, yes, Pittsburgh. Interesting. I don't know. It's a home game. I think it could be close. Could be a close game. I still feel like we win. Fitness, you have the Panthers. No, come on. Really? You got the Panthers beating us? You think we beat Baltimore and we beat... I mean, you had like a lineup. But seriously, the Panthers beat a 21-17 over us? Oh my gosh. I gotta... Well, yeah, I'm not surprised Niners has Panthers too. Bro. I mean, what in the world? Yeah, I gotta disagree. I'm sorry, bro. I love you, but that's like, I don't know what we're doing. I know you can slip up, and there's games that you have no business losing, and it always happens every year. There's at least one of those, but to me, Carolina is not one that's the slip up. We'll see. I could be totally wrong. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with a win for Carolina, which is what, 9-4 at that point. Then Steelers, it's gonna be a close game. I think that one should be a win. So at that point, it's 10-4. Washington on the road. This to me is where I feel like there could be a split. You could win, but Washington always plays us close. And if we beat them Thursday Night Football, maybe they get us back on when we're on the road, December 22nd. But it's kind of a toss-up to me, because if you're 10-4, if you win there, I'll just say yes. I believe that we split with Dallas, so we lost to them in Dallas. We win at home, and then New York again. I don't think is any question. So I think that last Washington game, is really a question of, do you end up finishing where you're 13-4, or are you 12-5? Pittsburgh has Eagles 10, Steelers 7. The weather must have gotten to that game. Some of these low scoring. Man, this is a dogfight. Yeah, easy. What are with these score predictions? Some of them I'm like, what in the world? If the offense, can you imagine if we beat the Steelers 10-7? We would win, sure, but just wait. The crying out and the offense is broken, only 10 points and all this other stuff. Like, I know the Steelers are not, like, just gonna roll over or anything, but yeah. Emily, Steelers have not beaten Philly since 1960 or something. I don't know what the year is, but interesting. Yes, and a good point that J. Ross brought up. 14 through 18 is virtually no travel going into playoff. Kind of pays off for terrible week 5 bye. That's true. Literally not having to get on a plane the final 6 games of the season. Baltimore, you won't be on a plane. Carolina's home game. Steelers' home game. Washington won't be on a plane. Dallas home game. New York home game. It's great for the travel purposes. I like that. But yeah, I go back and forth. I could see us splitting it with the division in Washington. So that would be a 12-5. It changes every single day. That's the one where I kind of go back and forth. So it could be 12-5, could be 13-4. I said it a day or two ago, I guess, that I thought we could be 13-4. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we're 12-5. And 13-4 also feels like that's very possible based on schedule. Look at that. So that's where I'm at. Donnie says the same. 12-5, 13-4 realistically. C24, we're going 14-3. I love it. I not that optimistic about it, but if we do, that's great. Definitely not 15-2, but Sherman, if that happens, fantastic. Really good. Andrew R. has us going 13-4. Emily has us 13-4. Tequila has 13-4. That feels like that's the general the vast majority is a 13-4. And yeah, I mean, I hate to pick Brian Johnson's squad of Washington to win one game against us, but they do play very closely. 12-5, 20-0. Eagles 32, Little Boys 25. 10-7 floor, 14-3 ceiling from 2-6 Sports. It's about where it's at. Niners is going 14-3 for Sirianni. We'll take it. Cool. All right. I'm going to go maybe a couple more minutes, maybe a couple more questions. Anything else? I got to wrap it up. Again, shout out to my brother John for the babysitting tonight. Actually able to get on there. And there you go. It was Dad. I can confirm, by the way. The long ago, John Davis that commented, that was Dad. So shout out to Dad for watching. A few more. C24 asking how long is this going to last? Like 5 more minutes because I got to go get the 2-year-old. So any last minute questions? We're good. It's not like she's stranded or anything. On Cloud, how do you enter the giveaway? Go to the last video. If you haven't watched the last video that I did, click on that. You'll see a million different comments that says Dallas sucks, and that's all you got to say. Dallas sucks. You comment that, and you get entered into the giveaway for 2 Eagles tickets to any regular season game of your choice. Not on this video. You could say it on this video. That's great. Welcome it. But in order for it to count, you got to go comment on the other video. That was, yesterday? So, yeah. If you do that, then we're going to do the drawing next week. Frank. Yes, good. I'm glad we're getting some more of the Dallas sucks. Daniel, yeah, and you're still here, bro. I appreciate it. You did not unsubscribe. I can't say I've ever been a live start to finish. This is awesome. Appreciate you hanging out. Trevor Keegan, break out your hot take. I could believe it. It wouldn't surprise me if he ends up being right guard. Drew asking, do I dislike all Dallas sports or just the Cowboys? Just mainly the Cowboys, yeah. I'm not a fan of like all the Dallas teams, I suppose, but yeah, very much a dislike the Cowboys. Fitness, do you think if our offense has a bad day, our defense can hold us down? That is a great question. I don't know. That early on in the season, I don't know. That's the fear, is if the offense is struggling early on, I would say all 4 games for sure before the bye. I don't know. If our offense can't compete in one of those games, I could see us losing because I just don't know about our defense. I think that they need to take some time to get acclimated, get adjusted. They will have a lot of prep in OTAs. They got a bunch of extra stuff. By the way, again, reminder, it's starting Monday, so OTAs will be there. We'll have video breakdowns and everything else. And there's multiple practices. There's like Monday and then I think Wednesday and Thursday. So there's like 3 practices coming up this week. We'll get an extra look at the guys, and then training camp. So they'll be relatively ready. But again, it's like once you get in the playing style, you get in actual game action. I don't know. That's the defense is what scares me, if I'm going to be honest. Once they get caught up to speed and they can help with the offense, they don't need to carry this team. They just need to be serviceable enough. Then that's where I would be at. Frank, I read most everything, but just sometimes I'm not going to say everything. Let's see. Where's the other one that I missed? Do you think this is a prove-it year for Hurts? From Emily. I don't know. That's a good question. I know that Emmanuel Acho comment and even Shady saying he's going to bounce back and everything else. I suppose if you want to go that far as saying, like, is it a prove-it year? I think that he'll have a better season. There's going to be question marks and people that are against him and knocking him and everything else. And, like, yes, he threw 15 interceptions last season. So he can be better for sure. But I don't know. As much as he's done and as great as he played in the Super Bowl, and I know people want to say, well, that was just one game, but it was the Super Bowl. He performed at the highest level and had one of the best games ever for a quarterback in a Super Bowl. You had Mahomes praising him, Chris Jones, who went above and beyond and saying it was, obviously better than Mahomes. He said, this is the best I've ever seen someone play. Like, sure, it's hype, speculation, whatever. He's had so many different offensive coordinators. So, I don't know. If there's a little bit of growing pains this year, to me, I'm not going to be totally shocked. But yeah, the media pundits and everything else will immediately just wait. If Jalen, especially the home opener, but even if it's a couple games in, and all of a sudden he has a really bad game, throws a couple of interceptions, bad game, they'll just jump on it. Like, yep, that's the Jalen Hurts. That's the Jalen Hurts that we know or we think of. So I don't know. Personally, I'm not of the mindset that it's a prove it year. I think it's just be you, be yourself. He's solid. He's going to pick up this offense. Kellen Moore's going to put him in the right spots. And Kellen Moore is certainly the X factor when it comes to coaches and coordinators. Yes, I watch baseball a little bit, not much, but playoffs come around. I'll watch it. Rangers, local team, won the World Series. That's right. Cheesesteak can't let the kids be around Cowboys fans for too much, so we got to get the 2-year-old. Question from Kenny Wade: how many interceptions does CJ get this season? We got 6 from Easy, 7 from Emily. I'm gonna say 4. I hope that it's more than that, but I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic here. I think that he's going to be a difference maker, but maybe it's the fact that last season we didn't get too many turnovers, and so I'm jaded that way. But I'll say 4. A solid 4 interceptions. It is pretty good. Daniel, the eagle, yeah, the sign. I've got a link in the description. It's crazy expensive. It's double or triple from whenever I first bought it. So I don't know. Maybe they've had people buy it a lot, and it's the supply demand, but. There is a link in the description if you want the neon sign, a replica or a duplicate. Yes, Fanny's saying, in all your clips you use The Office, must be your favorite show. That's probably one of the favorites. It's for sure the most quotable for me. There's a couple good shows, but yeah, not a surprise that I'm a pretty big fan of The Office. Let's see. Who do I think will lead in interceptions for the Eagles? Leading in interceptions. It's a good question there. I would say I might say Quinion. I think that's who I'm going to go with. Because I think he's going to get tested a lot more because he's a rookie, and I think that he's going to prove to people, and they're going to and then they're going to pay for it. Fancy said Coop. But I'm going to say Quinion. I thought you were asking about the eagle, the sign, the neon sign here. There's a link in the description. It just says, it says neon sign. I thought that's what you were asking about. Maybe not. Maybe I misread it. I do not think that Jordan Davis is a bust, by the way. No. Ask me again after this season. You want to actually, great question or follow up to Jalen Hurts. Is it a Jalen Hurts prove it year? No. But is it a Jordan Davis prove it year? Yes. It was really last season, a decent amount, but this is it, bro. You gotta wake up. You gotta prove it. You gotta show up. It's you and Jalen Carter starting, and there's no excuses. There were really already no excuses, but there's definitely no excuses now. So I'm not gonna say it yet. Give him one more. We'll see. We source, you're watching the super fan episodes. Those are so great. All right. I got to jump off. Appreciate you guys as always. This is a blast. We will do it again. Probably Tuesday night hangout as always next week. Also the Friday night hangout. And that'll be, again, the giveaway. So if you've not gotten in on it, make sure the last video, go comment. Dallas sucks on that one. And chance to win 2 Eagles tickets any regular season game. But, yeah, we're gonna go save the 2-year-old from the Dallas fans. So you guys have a great night, great weekend. Probably a video coming tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. Maybe like a mid morning or afternoon. We'll see. But yes, jersey giveaway next Friday. So until then, we'll see you guys. Go Birds.